If you're looking for a flashlight, unlike any other flashlight on the market, then check out the new kid on the block, the Loop Universe SK-01 Skywalker in LEP or LED configurations. Welcome back to Aux Lights. There's this new company that's emerged, I don't know, maybe it feels like in the last year here, called Loop Universe. And here's their box, and it says Loop right there. And I've seen this sold directly from loopuniverse.com, as well as a couple resellers like Jackson Lee over in Hawaii and Neil's Gadgets. I love the name. It's called the Skywalker. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I love the idea of Skywalker. That sounds cool. And the initial specs on the LEP version, which is what I've got here. I've got both, actually. We're going to check out the LEP and the LED. And the initial specs seemed really amazing. And I guess there was a translation problem or something like that, and it was just not performing to what I thought it would be based on the marketing specs. So I'm going to cut through the red tape here, and I'll just tell you this right now. If you want the best performance LEP you can get in an 18350 form factor, this is not the top performer, but I don't think that's who this is for. Look at it. This thing is crazy. It's got fidget spinners. It's got lights all over it. It's a really interesting look. So that's what I want to tell you, okay? If you want a top performing flashlight, if you want, you know, the best bang for your buck, this is not it. But if you want something that is just like fidget central and really eye-catching, and just to make people, you know, at the office or whatever go, what is that? This is the one, okay? Let's take a look at it. So I'm going to start with the fidget options, and then we're going to talk about the UI, and then we're going to talk about whether you should get the LEP or the LED, okay? So let's start with fidget. All right, first off, I've got the titanium version here. Comes in aluminum and titanium, and it comes in a kind of natural or raw titanium and a black titanium. This is the black version, and it's kind of thoughtfully distressed. I don't know if you can tell, but it just looks like weathered a little bit. I think this head might even show it a little better. There you go. You can see these weathered edges. I kind of like the way it looks. Looks neat. So first off, I like the look, but secondly, it kind of conceals damage if you do kind of scratch it up a little bit. So I like that. It says Skywalker right here on that ring. It says SK-01 on the side. It's got a little labeling and branding on the sides for their website. Now, the fidgeting is pretty darn good. So there's a loop right here. There's a spinner right here. It's very quiet, that spinner, and it spins for a super long time. I just gave it a casual spin right there. That was not a world-class spin. And you can see this thing is just spinning and spinning and spinning. So this is very, very fidgetable and fun. And there's also a clicker on the back here too. All right, a little clicker like that. And you can release it by hitting this button. And it's fun. It's very ratchety and fun. It makes a good sound. And the thing about it is it's not just fidget. It also conceals the tail switch. So the tail switch here, that's a mechanical lockout, so you don't accidentally activate it, whether you're turning it on or off. It goes both ways. So if you got this light on and then you want it to stay on, you can flip it out like that. It'll stay on. Let's take a look at the box really quickly. So the box is a really nice box with kind of glossy look all over it, and it's got a cover like that. Inside, you got a nice cutout from where the flashlight was. Comes with a charge cable. Comes with O-rings and little doohickeys. I was out of focus. Sorry about that, guys. So little doohickeys. I'm not even sure what some of these doohickeys are. Actually, I do. The more I think about it, I do know what these are. So these are springs that go inside this for the ratcheting, but I wouldn't disassemble it personally. So, I mean, it's just, you're courting danger if you do that. So that's the box. The charge cable plugs into the battery that it comes with. It comes with an 18350 battery right there, which has a little USB-C charge port on the side and a charge indicator on the top. One of the things I noticed about this battery is it's very sensitive to tripping, very sensitive to cutting off voltage. And the way you reset it is by charging again, by plugging in. So for example, let me tell you things that I've found that tripped it. If I charged it on my standalone charger, once it reached 4.2 volts, before my charger decided it was there, this decided it was there and it cut it off. And then I thought I was done charging, so I put it in a light. I go to fire it up, light doesn't work. Why doesn't the light work? Because the battery was tripped. So all I had to do is plug in the charge cable for just a second. The light came on and then the battery worked. Another thing that tripped it was I actually dropped this battery. I was just fumbling it and it dropped down to my hardwood floors. No damage to the battery, but apparently that was enough to trip the battery. So the protection circuit is good or sensitive, depending on how you want to look at it. And remember to trip it, just plug it in for a second. So that battery goes right in there, and then this screws right on like so. The threads are kind of shallow, and they're a little gritty, but that's to be expected with titanium. I don't give titanium, a lot of, let me do it this way, I'm right-handed. I don't give titanium a lot of beef if it's kind of gritty, okay? So it is a little gritty, but that's pretty normal. Now, once you got this all together, let me show you that I got the LEP on right now. So if I press it on the back here, you can see the LEP is on. And this right here, this collar, let me get it like that. This collar rotates and it's zoomable. So notice that I can make the beam bigger or smaller. Now, LEPs are very focused. So when you go full out with it, you're looking at not a huge flutter here. You're looking at kind of like a normal flashlight shape. And when you focus it, it's like a white laser, okay? It's very, very focused. And we'll take that outside and you'll see it in the beam shots outside. One thing that's interesting, and I found this out by accident, is if I turn this on, and right now I'm in kind of a low mode, and let's say I, focus it here, you can see it's focusing smaller, right? What I noticed, and check this out, is if I go to where it is full wide, okay, as wide as possible, what's actually happening is the beam is converging and then coming back out. So when I'm full wide, and you see it like that, watch when I come closer, you can see it gets really to focus point and it gets wider again, right? Well, what I noticed was that focus there, I actually burned myself. Check this out. See the smoke? Yeah, I actually burned myself when I was testing that. I happened to be on turbo at the time, and that's how many lumen. Oh, you can see right through the bag. Yeah, there's a hole right there. That's how many lumens is coming out of this thing in LEP mode. So again, not the top of the heap. There's a couple lumen top LEPs do a little better, but it's no slouch, and we'll see it outside. There's spots for tritium tubes everywhere, if that's what you're into, but it also comes with a lot of glow features via the button here. So let me show you that really quickly. So let's go to the UI actually, okay? So one button to turn it on, one button for off. When it's on, you can press and hold and it cycles low, high, okay? Now there's a hidden moonlight. When it's off, press and hold and you can get to a moonlight so you can barely see it. That's awesome. I never see LEPs with the moonlights. That's really neat. And then there's a double tap to go to turbo. And there's turbo, okay? While it's off, if you press and hold, there you go. You can now see that it's got this awesome kind of light show in the back here. And it does a lot of different lights. So that's one of them. If I press and hold again, you see it does a little glow there. Press and hold again. It's now turning red. Let me turn my lights, video lights down a little bit so you can see this better. I really want you to see how this looks. Press and hold again. You can see a little pulsing of red. That one does red, purple, and blue. Hold again. Rotate. Hold again. So just all sorts of different configurations here. You can set up any way you want. All right? Just kind of a fun thing to play with. Again, is it important? No, but neither is fidgeting, right? It's just a fun thing to do. Now, the LEP is really going to shine when we take it outside, but I want to take the head off, and I want to show you the LED. The LED, people love LEPs. They have no spill. They look like laser beams. They're impressive. But LEDs are so much more useful, okay? So I still got the video lights down, and I want to show you that we got the same kind of light show back here when you, well, first off, let me show the UI. Okay, so turn it on, it's an LED, and when I press and hold, it goes brighter, lower, brighter, lower. And remember, turn it off and press and hold, you get a moonlight, and double tap for turbo. Okay, great. But watch this. Press and hold from off. You get the light show back here, but you also now get the light show behind the TIR optic in the front. So on the back here, I'm going to press and hold, and you see all the different kinds of things that we already saw, because the body is the same. I have one body for both of these. But look on the front. Look at all the different things you can do on the front. It's really neat. So if you want something that's really showy, this light is definitely the one. There you go. Look at that. That one is actually doing all the colors and pulsing. It's like a rave. Look at that. Wow, that's crazy, man. Press and hold again. Look at that, multicolored. So there you go. This thing is just too much fun. All right, let's do some lumen testing. Turn down the video lights here. Make sure we get a good focus on that meter. So I'm going to start out with the LED module here, which was really impressive to me. This thing is really bright. So let me go ahead and turn it on to moonlight. So press and hold, and we're getting, well, 2, almost 3 lumens. So I don't know if I consider that a moonlight, but it is not bright. It's very dim, so it's good for creeping around at night. That's, again, this is the LED version. We're going to do that first. Now, if I turn it off and turn it back on, we should be in low. So the low is about 160 lumens. Now let's go up to high, and we get 500-ish lumens. And now this is what really impressed me. Check this out. Turbo, almost 1700 lumens. Now I've been playing with it for a little bit, but with a fully charged battery, I was getting 1700 at startup. So I thought that was really impressive. Now let me take the head off. We'll put the LEP head on. Now, a couple caveats here. LEPs don't measure well in my lumen tube, but I'm going to make sure that I'm as wide as possible in the zoom. But let's do our best. So this is going to underrate for sure. Now, on the moonlight here, I'm not even measuring, okay? And I believe that. It's sublumen. Well, here, let me go down to the more sensitive range. There you go. It's saying between nothing and 1/10 of a lumen. I believe that. Now, let's go ahead and turn it on into low. We're getting about 20 lumens. I'm going to press and hold to go to high. We're getting about 70 lumens. Again, this is probably underrating. Now, let's double click to turbo. And we're getting 250 lumens. Again, not a fully charged battery. Now, the thing about that, about the 250 lumens, is the initial marketing was that it was going to be an 800 lumen LEP. There we go, 400 lumens. Check that out. So I must have not been on turbo. So 400 lumens. I don't know why I said 250 earlier. Actually I was talking. I remembered thinking that wasn't right. So I've been getting 400 lumens pretty continually on the test on the LEP. And that is off of the 800 it was quoted. But again, I think that was confusion between the module and the manufacturer. All I'm trying to say is I talked to some other of my colleagues. Everyone I know was getting about 400, 500 lumens on this. So that's what you can expect. Okay, we're out front with the Skywalker SK-01. We've got the LED module installed. Let's get a good focus on that. Let's go ahead and kick it into moonlight. And I can see it on the ground in front of us a little bit. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn it up to low. There's low at 20 meters, low at 55 meters. Now let's put it on high. There's high. And at 55 meters. And does it make the 150 in the back? My eyes tell me it does, just a little bit. Something I want to point out too before we get off the LED module is there are these light leaks on the side here, which I think look cool. They don't really bother me, but I want to show you this. If you press and hold and go into the colored modes, look at that. Look at all the colors coming out the back and on the sides. And that is a dance party, right? Let me get a better focus on it. Neat. Let's go ahead and put the LEP module in now. All right, I've got the LEP module on now with the zoom. So we're zoomed all the way out, and I'm going to go to moonlight, and I don't even see it on the ground. Not at all. Let me focus, though. And let's see what we get here. Now that I've focused, I'm starting to see it around the manhole in front of me. But when I focus out, let me zoom out with my other hand. I just don't see more. So let's go ahead and go to low. There's low on that tree at 20 meters. Let's go ahead and focus it. And you can see that as you focus it, it gets brighter because the candela goes up. Now let's go to high. So neat, right? How cool is this? Let's go to turbo. Come on, let's do it. Turbo. There we go. Look at how concentrated and bright that is. And there's just, that's the thing about LEPs. There's no spill, right? No spill at all. Hitting those trees at 150 meters, no problem. And look at the beam in the air, right? It's like a white laser. You could see the focus on the zoom too. Like when I focus it like that, you could see the convergent point move down the beam. Oh, it's so cool. You know, it's hard to say which one I like better. Which one's like more impressive or fidgety or whatever. The LEP or LED module. The LED module has those great colored lights, but the LEP is just really fun to play with the zoom, and it's very impressive. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I like that I have both. You know, these little loops and stuff in the back offer practical advantages as well. I often like to run at night so it's not hot. And I feel like I'm going to throw my light while I'm running, just kind of derp and throw it. So this little loop here, you just put your hand through there like that. It's not going anywhere, Now, of course, you can do all kinds of weird stuff like do tricks and flip it around. And I'm sure that people that love to fidget are going to figure all that kind of stuff out. Spin it. I don't know, spin it. You get the idea. But for me, I just like the idea that when I'm running, I'm not going to drop it. I also noticed that they put a little maybe ceramic or zirconian bead on this side for breaking glass. So there's a little safety feature right there. You get the same kind of beads on the bezel as well. So again, want to loop back? Loop, pun not intended. But I'll loop back and say that if you want a light that does a lot of different things in one package, Skywalker SK-01S. Take a look at it. Now, whether you want an LEP or an LED is up to you. I think they're both excellent. I'm glad I have both. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even mention this. I actually purchased the light. I purchased the LEP version, and then while I was using it and checking it out, I was offered the LED version so I could show it to you. And so, yeah, it's not my best LEP, but it is definitely a really fun LEP. Oh, and I forgot to show you that on the LED version here, when you turn it on, it's got these cutouts where there's white light on the sides, so it is very fancy looking. Now, they don't really bother me because if I hold it like this and use a flashlight like you're supposed to, they don't hit me in the face. So I'm not being blinded by these, but you can tell that it's on. There's kind of like a soft glow around the ring. So it's a neat feature. So there you go. The Loop Universe Skywalker SK-01 in either LEP or LED versions. If you want a unique light, I can't think of one that packs more different features into one small pocketable light. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.